Hi everyone, I'm currently working on streaming again. I'll be on platforms like Twitch, Kick, and maybe Rumble if I can get OBS to work. If you want to see me stream, go to twitch.tv/EstarGamingLive or kick.com/EstarGamingLive. I hope to see y'all there. Good evening, my ninjas. There is great pessimism towards gaming's future. It's a common belief that gaming is a necessity rather than a non-essential. The manner of which console companies are acting has been working towards the solidarity between console and PC gamers, and now they are incapable of stopping their own decline. The common conclusion is that the console gaming axis will break apart, with some joining the PC master race. It's not hard to see why this perspective is so widespread. The malicious actions of the Japanese are causing aspirations towards the 7 Seas. Also, the developers over at Microslop are desiring death. It's no exaggeration to say that gamers are getting cheated and betrayed. They have sold out the community to both enrich themselves and to achieve the ideological goal of AI integration with the New World Order. The small clique who govern our lives are solely to blame for gaming's fall. Neither technocracy nor economics have directed or are currently directing the industry properly. Countless online commentators may tell you that gaming is doomed, but they are wrong. It is up to those who want to shape the industry to take the right actions. This is my third and hopefully final video essay on broader tech culture as a whole, but trust me, it's worth it. It's fair to say, at least recently, that everything produced from this channel is made with a hardline, super Catholic, ultra gamer perspective. I am the everlasting EstarH, and this video is long. Lots of people bring up the crash of '87 to explain why gaming's falling apart. Just for some context, Pac-Man looked like this on the 2600 and couldn't even work on the 5200. The popularization of consoles came from the desire for convenience. Arcades are not convenient. You need to travel, you need quarters, and you need to be cool because the older teens are hogging Space Invaders. The Atari 2600 was made to mitigate this problem. You had the entire arcade at home, all at the cost of graphical fidelity, and despite its high price point, it was well loved because it was convenient. You see where I'm going with this? The economy of consoles can easily be adjusted by encouraging market solutions. We're just ruled by technocrats who would murder an infant child to grow the GDP. Another example towards an impending implosion is PlayStation's self-inflicted identity crisis. On one hand, IPs going cross-platform does benefit consumers. On the other hand, it builds animosity with shareholders where there used to be none. The PlayStation 5 has no games, and Xbox is slowly eating every publisher they can get their hands on while claiming it's in the interest of gamers. If you believe in anything, as a console gamer that is, you must advocate for the re-establishment of console exclusives and reject integration. Embrace who you are. It is in my best interest as a pathological hoarder to resist forced homogenization. If everybody believes that homogenization should be the goal, then the Xbox wouldn't exist. Crossplay and Game Pass are being used by corporate technocrats as a homogenizing force that is turning gaming into a monoculture. PlayStation is the same as Xbox, is the same as PC, but none of them are the same as Nintendo. Everybody there is just incredibly rude. People who say PC gaming is the only way of the future conveniently forgot Nintendo's part of the gaming industry and will do anything, even fierce measures, to stay distinct. Also, if PlayStation is becoming more like Xbox, does this mean Microsoft should buy Sony? If you think that question is stupid, you're not alone, but it's the same rationale used by PC gamers. It's clear that a lot of what made console gaming unique has been dismantled and suppressed. There is something missing that's not being talked about, and since I am an inspired genius like Sir Johnny MacDonald, I will tell you. After a state of affairs, it's not hard to understand why there's been such a sharp decline in local multiplayer games in such a short time. At its foundation, gaming was, traditionally at least, about local co-occupation. Since the start of the decade, we have lost this tradition that we've had for half a century. In return, we traded it for shallow leaderboards and YouTube tutorials. What people believe is multiplayer versus what actually is multiplayer is very different. Couch co-op has been traded for always online, fast-paced first-person shooters. For example, Halo Infinite doesn't even have a split-screen mode. Games like Call of Duty also took away freedom of expression, threatening to ban anybody for using gamer words. They have also been compelled to limit speech because parents no longer have the ability to govern their own children. It is not the responsibility of the industry nor other players to treat the T to M games like a daycare. So thanks to irresponsible parenting, our only forms of expression have been limited to microtransactions. Phil Spencer did more to hurt Xbox as CEO than Don Matrick could have dreamed. Woodrow Wilson was one of the most evil men in history, but there's something compelling about a man who had strong ambitions to completely fuck up the Western world and succeed. Mustache Man. I don't like him, but if I were a soldier in Vichy, France, and he told me that I was his top goy, Phil Spencer ran Xbox in the same way Mustache Man ran Germany. His work as CEO was to ignore all of the debt to ramp up production. Also, he could start his rapid takeover of as much of the industry he could. And instead of doing anything meaningful, he just kept doing things that would ensure PC gaming success and push Xbox into further obscurity. And he did all this with little to no opposition. So in a sense, Phil Spencer's literally worse than Hitler. Xbox since 2013 has only weakened the console industry. The lack of vision can be seen in their failure to create anything meaningful, instead relying on what they've already broke. Halo, Gears of War, and even Rare have all been broken down and no longer have anything to offer. To be fair to Phil, Microsoft didn't even want Xbox to survive anyways. The end goal was always integration with Windows. Basically, this is a roundabout way of saying the Sega Dreamcast failure was a mistake and Xbox Live is a crime against humanity. There's always been one fact that has shaped gaming's destruction since its inception. The stock market exists. There's a bit of hyperinflation going on. The youth are being exposed to the gamification of trading through YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. Because of this, people who don't know any better have now adopted this market strategy, only focusing on profits rather than impact. It's no surprise that many console gamers decided to take their chances with the PC master race rather than staying, because the entire market is being inflated by idiots with Robinhood accounts. They aren't solely to blame though. Nasdaq's central powers have been banking on AI like their life depends on it, because it probably does. Big tech has been on a crusade to keep their AI baby alive, even though it's been devastating the world for the last 2 years. Today, the AI regime has gotten more hardline both in its rhetoric and its actions. The console gaming axis did not do this to themselves, but are victims of their own overlords' ambitions. In the last part, I talked about how Phil Spencer acted like a national socialist. I want to apologize for this joke, as it's a bit in poor taste. He actually did, in some ways, bring Xbox out of the mess Don Matrick left, who also is dealing with the mess that Microsoft is in general. It's just a fact of life that gaming's only awesome during a recession, which means gaming was only good for 2 years of my lifetime. It's no wonder Phil put a lot of his money down on backwards compatibility instead of making new games. But I'll talk more about modern games in part 5 of this video. Thank you everybody for your patience. Modern gaming rightards have hysterical reactions when it comes to non-gamers stamping their boots in our faces. Our main focus, though, should primarily be on the ball/gun community, because everyone here will proclaim the end of COD and then immediately urge everyone to buy the next game. These emotional spastic outbursts are not useful. If you want actual change, you have to make note of what you want and stick with it. However, nobody, especially in the ball/gun community, are capable of any serious thought. Whenever I look at a ball/gun gamer, I get a sense of general confusion and disgust. The reason why is very simple. These people are not gamers, yet somehow they get to dictate the outcome of my most cherished hobby. I take that very personally. I do not get personal on this channel. It's something that doesn't work well with entertainment. I am a content creator with a small following. If I say something like the gaming community needs to be anti-technology, you should start laughing, because I'm nothing. However, I can say that because everything on this channel has been and always will be just entertainment, so it's never meant to be taken seriously. I assume that I will keep buying games in the future, but if it keeps going in the direction it is, I will not continue. I want to take this moment to talk about propaganda. You ever feel like modern video games are giving you incredible pain? Basically, games today are hot trash because the CIA and the CCP want them to be. In the past, video games used to be free from political subversion, but unsubverted entertainment is to the government what children are to Minecraft YouTubers. The reason why this happened is simple. The international socialist governments of the UN want to convert everyone through the hyper-consumption hedonist pipeline. If there's something that's not pushing the propaganda, it better start.
All media is political. The X-Men is about the civil rights movement. Star Trek is a post-scarcity, liberal, democratic utopia.
By the 1000th time you respawned as a terrorist, you're either celebrating them or making fun of them.
America deserved 9/11, dude. Fuck.
I can tell that gaming's been astroturfed because when I look at anime girls, they lower my cortisol, unlike the soulless modern-day Californian trash being pushed by Naughty Dog. This is why many men today are playing the Chinese child predator simulator called Genshin Impact, instead of being real men and playing roof rats on their Dell Optiplex. Another example is Overwatch and Rivals. In order to achieve market dominance in the team-based shooter genre, they made half their characters Gunnerbait or Jailbait. All of this was done to sedate the masses into becoming fictophiles. Don't believe me? Why did Marvel Rivals get so so much adult content when it just released. Blizzard and subsequently NetEase used guerrilla marketing tactics in an effort to become the top team-based shooters, destroying games like Rainbow Six in the process, which has now also become part of the hyper-consumption hedonist pipeline. The reason Ubisoft won't fix Rainbow Six is because the CCP told them not to. It really feels like you only have two options: American PsyOps or Chinese PsyOps. There is, however, a third and more superior option. Remember Gamergate? In internet history, Gamergate is comparable to the crucifixion of Jesus Christ, as in it was so important that it was able to change an entire industry for the worse. It's amazing how there was a bigger reaction to Lara Croft's polygon tits than there is to AI taking away your autonomy. As a civilization, we don't have our priorities straight. This needs high study. Soyjack commentators will make 8-hour-long live streams complaining about current-day politics in Western games, while also slowly frying their brains on Eastern ones, ignoring the fact that the elites have been slowly and methodically preparing us for the inevitable metaverse technocracy, where they'll be able to control every part of your life through fear, insecurity, and disillusionment with the real world. In other words, stop worrying about video games in general, because they suck. There's no point in complaining about video games getting worse, because nobody has the gumption to actually do anything meaningful. Everyone knows Call of Duty is just soulless propaganda for the military-industrial complex, but we'll still buy it because gun go bang. If you wish to stop the cycle, I have some soulful propaganda on screen. The corporations don't want small YouTube channels to grow. The way to circumvent this is by subscribing to the channel so that we might have a chance of reaching a bigger audience. I know you're tired of hearing this, but when you do subscribe to the channel and like the video, it does help me reach a larger audience. This is a huge hobby of mine and I appreciate all the support you've all given me. Anyways, back to the video. As you can probably tell, this video is very critical towards the gaming community, as I believe we have a huge hand in gaming's murder. A product of any kind is shaped around its customers' habits. The first step towards success is addressing the problem, and when the elites are so intent on causing as much damage as possible, at what point does the damage become irreversible? We need to take a stand. I understand why some advocate for cutting their losses, because some companies are pretty much as good as dead. There's been speculation that Xbox will merge with PCs. However, in my probably unpopular opinion, I think this would be catastrophic for the Xbox brand as a whole. Don't do this though. Windows is a piece of shit software that breaks your computer with background apps and software updates, to a point that I'm considering switching to Linux because Windows-based gaming is just as equally cursed. This may sound silly, but I believe we should look to Chapter 6 of The Art of War and identify our enemy's weak points. This is the only realistic plan at the moment. In general, the chances of the community doing anything meaningful is random. The decisions Sony will make, however, are not random. They're made by board members who can easily be influenced by an economic crisis. Sun Tzu said, "Whoever is the first in the field and awaits the coming of the enemy will be fresh for the fight. Whoever is second in the field has to hasten to battle will arrive exhausted. Therefore, the clever combatant imposes his will on the enemy, but does not allow the enemy's will to be imposed on him. By holding out advantages to him, he can cause the enemy to approach of his own accord, or by inflicting damage, he can make it impossible for the enemy to draw near." The title of this video is "The Gaming Community Needs to be Anti-Technology." This is a reference to technological changes rather than technology itself. It's clear that the goals of our occupying powers are to denigrate our lives to a point of non-recognition. The situation now is worse than 1983. The crash of 83 was also about companies putting in a lot of capital in emerging markets, but this market wasn't about the imposition of people's daily lives. We must make an actual stand against tyranny. If it's over, and you think it's over, nothing changes. If it's over, but you're optimistic, nothing changes. If it's not over, and you think it's over, you're fucked. And lastly, if it's not over and you're optimistic, we have a chance. The only scenario where gaming is doomed is if we believe nothing can be done. But as long as there's people like you and me who are willing to fight till the end, gaming is safe.